I've been using the Sony WH-1000 XM3 for a number of months now, and I've been using it on a daily basis. It has been taken through a whole range of scenarios as far as day-to-day use cases go. So, in this video, I'll be doing a long-term usage review of the 1000 XM3. Let me jump straight into the deep end of the review, starting with the case. Functionally, I have no issues with the case. It has pockets for convenience and is well made. No complaints there. I have used it once. After that, I've been pretty much just putting the headphone in my bag on its own. The headphone folds, and that way it does not take up much space. The case will do its job if used, but for those who are like me and would like to carry the headphones on its own, I think it's a safe enough thing. I'm pleased to say that the headphone is built to survive the rigors of daily life. When folded, the hinge appears to be designed well enough to feel confident in its motion and strength. I would like to express that at the point of making this video, the novelty of having a new headphone is well and truly gone. While I do not want to damage the headphone, I don't really handle it like a newborn baby either. And the headphone seems to have no issues with that. It's a well-built headphone that is built to last. Also, it feels to me that the shape of the headphone, the smooth exterior surface, allows the headphone to be placed in and out of the bag. It slips in and out nicely and does not catch on anything. Next, let's talk about the battery life. I charge the headphone maybe once a week, week and a half, sometimes even in 2 weeks. This includes use while commuting to and from work, which is about 2 hours, and additional few hours of listening while working. When the charge is getting low, the headphone warns about the low battery. The last 10% is still enough juice to last me the commute. In this many months, there is not one incident where it turned off on me due to low battery. I always, and without exception, always am able to reach either home or office where USB Type-C cable is readily accessible. Comfort is a subjective matter. Most days I find the headphone to be easygoing on the ear, and there are times I have felt a little bit of fatigue. Issue is that there is no way to ease the clamping force. Although there is some cavity space in the cups, I would have preferred more. Regardless, this is one of the more comfortable headphones on the market today. As a comparison, let me say that it is more comfortable than the ATH M50X, even though we can relieve some of the clamping force in the M50. Now, let's talk about the big ticket item, the sound. I'll start by saying that the XM3 has an enjoyable sound signature, but it is not so out of the box, or at least not for me it was not. Okay, let me explain. When I first paired the headphone to the phone, it sounded nice, but felt there is a bit more to it than this. Sony has an app called Headphones. How original. What it does is it allows you to tweak the sound to your preference. And there is also what Sony calls clear bass, which is basically bass boost. If you do this one step, from this point on, the headphones are a pure joy. If you think about it, I get the sound the way I like it. You will get the sound the way you like it, and the next person will do the same, and so on and so forth. The drivers themselves are very capable. It can reproduce from very low bass to mid bass rather nicely without drowning out any of the other components of the sound. Not like how Beats were in excess of bass, which muffled out some of the other details in the sound. This here is a clean execution. Next comes the mids. My favorite genre is heavy metal, and I mix it with classical often. Not many headphones get these genres correctly. Rock, hard rock and heavier is where many mainstream headphones begin to fail. Not this, and I'm so pleased about it. Not just good bass, not just good mid and treble in isolation. What it does is it produces a coherent sound. a more meaningful experience end to end, where the instruments feel like they are doing what they were meant to do. And therefore, the sound the XM3 produces will be pleasing to a wide majority of people. And that would also be true for one more reason: active noise cancellation. This is no doubt one of the main selling points of this headphone. So allow me to demonstrate. With music playing, it practically cuts out almost all of the outside noise. One day I was standing with my back to the road looking at a shop or something, and I was listening to Alter Bridge. I remember that. And a bunch of Harley Davidsons rode from behind me. I could feel the impact of the noise on my chest. It was that loud outside, but I did not hear them. Only noticed the motorcycles when I turned around and started walking. That's when I connected the feeling of the sound to the motorcycle. At times, I wear it in office without any music playing, like for calls and things like that. It cuts off humming sound of the air conditioning or people talking in the background. Some sound does make it through, but it takes out so much that when I take the headphones off after wearing it for a little while, it feels like a landslide of noise is pouring into my ears. This is different to any other noise-cancelling earphones I have used in the past. People who fly frequently will without a doubt benefit from this. Now the negatives. I have used this headphone long enough to have come across some of the imperfections. Well, as mentioned earlier, the cans could have benefited with a bit more cavity space. Reduction of clamping force would have been nice too. After an hour and a half, fatigue starts to build in. To put things into context, the ATH M30 I used to use was very light, and I bent the band to reduce the clamping force, allowing me to do over 6 hours of work in one sitting straight. I cannot use the XM3 for 3 hours straight without considerable discomfort. By then, a lot of fatigue will build up. Next thing is a minor one. The touchpad for skipping track or volume control is convenient and modern, but the success rate is not 100%, meaning a whole lot of times I slide my finger on it and nothing happens. The command does not register, so I try again and it works. Not a big deal, but room for improvement there. The next thing is to do with calls. I make a lot of calls with this headphone, and it is convenient that way, but the XM3 has consistently let me down in this department. The caller on the other end complains often that they cannot hear me clearly. Now, this improves if I switch from active noise cancellation to ambient sound. The caller on the line can hear my voice, but now I cannot hear them talk properly. And with the ambient sound on in a busy environment, there is just too much background noise coming in. So the XM3 is not very suitable for phone calls in noisy environments. Conclusion. I paid close to 400 Australian dollars at JB Hi-Fi. Online, it may be bought for cheaper. I have left a link in the description. The price at first may appear like a lot to pay. However, knowing what I know now, if I were to go back in time, I would still buy this. This has been a very satisfactory purchase and something that I use every single day that I go to work. It handles its core responsibilities rather well. Yes, there are imperfections, there are some room for improvements, sure. The pros outweighs the cons by an incredible margin. In many aspects, Sony has set a standard with the XM3 that other manufacturers will need to meet and exceed. But while they are at it, I have no problems recommending these to you, and I shall continue to use them happily. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you have liked it. If you have any comments or questions, please do feel free to ask. I read them all and I will do my best to respond as soon as I can. Also, I have a second channel, Property Technical, where I share all my secrets about building and renovating houses, one simple topic at a time. I hope to see you in my next video. Bye for now.